Pablo Zabaleta of West Ham United, left, and Yohan Cabaye of Crystal Palace during a Premier League match in January. 9 of the 20 teams in the Premier League have the names of gambling companies on their jersey fronts. Credit Mike Hewitt/Getty Images, May 14, 2018, London. So now that the United States Supreme Court has cleared the way for gambling on sports, what does a world with legalized sports betting look like? To find an answer to that question, one only has to gaze across the Atlantic Ocean, to Britain and other European countries, where gambling is as much a part of the sports culture as wearing the home team's jersey to the game. Gambling here is, in a word, ubiquitous, and the only limit for bettors is their imagination. Bettors place wagers before the game and during it. They wager on who will score the next goal, or how many goals will be scored in the final 10 minutes or in stoppage time. Odds makers offer a dizzying array of betting permutations. If that is not enough, they even offer gamblers the chance to design their own bet. A yellow card in the second half injury time, followed by a red card and a disallowed goal? They will give you a line on that. Tweet us. "We can price up your bet in 15 minutes," said Kieran O'Brien, a spokesman for William Hill. He said it is not unusual for there to be 500 different betting lines on a single game. Britain's 65 million inhabitants wagered nearly $20 billion for the year ending March 2017, according to a report from the country's gambling commission. The United States, however, has a far more diverse sports market, with 5 major professional sports leagues, plus college sports. Nearly every facet of a soccer match in England can be bet on, including who scores the first goal. Credit Julian Finney/Getty Images. In Britain, where even Queen Elizabeth is known to fancy a flutter, gambling's relationship with sports is firmly entrenched. 9 of the 20 soccer teams playing in the Premier League have names of gambling companies emblazoned on their jersey fronts. Companies based as far away as Macau in the Philippines. Inside the stadium, betting odds crawl across advertising boards. Almost every Premier League soccer team has an official betting partner, which in some cases is a multi-million-dollar relationship that includes betting booths inside the stadium and dedicated websites. Betting advertisements on television are so prevalent that they frequently outnumber those for beer and pizza companies on match days. British actor Ray Winston is probably more well known today for his role in promoting in-game betting for Bet365, one of the world's largest online betting companies, than for the hard men and gangsters he's played on screens large and small. At halftime of major televised games, Winston, dressed in a suit and open-collared shirt, stares straight into the camera lens, and urges punters in his Cockney accent to have a bang on that. As behind him live odds for the game in question are beamed into homes across the country. Thanks to the availability of high-speed Wi-Fi and scores of smartphone applications dedicated to gambling, sports fans can do that and much more. Sky Bet is the title sponsor for the 3 divisions of English soccer below the Premier League, known as the Sky Bet Championship, Sky Bet League One, and Sky Bet League Two. Wagering, of course, is not limited to sports. Even the recent birth of the Queen's latest great-grandchild presented an opportunity. As the Duchess of Cambridge laboured in the hospital, an aircraft hired by bookmaker Ladbrokes circled low overhead, towing a banner listing odds on the baby's name. "It's the most mature market in the world," said Mark Locke, chief executive of Genius Sports, a data provider to betting companies and sports leagues. Gambling is part of the culture. The availability and ease of betting in the era of the internet has led to a recent government crackdown following a rise in compulsive gambling. Some of Winston's Bet365 commercials have been taken off the airwaves. An advertising watchdog last month began enforcing measures to restrict commercials that create an inappropriate sense of urgency, such as those calling on participants to place immediate bets during live events. Betting companies such as Ladbrokes are major sponsors of sports. with signs in most venues, including at Turf Moor in Burnley. Creditoli Scarf/Agents France Presse, Getty Images. During the past decade, the gambling websites and smartphone applications have become ever more sophisticated. Data companies like Genius and market leader Sportradar, which has relationships with the NBA and NFL, have increased in size, allowing bookmakers to offer more bets on more sports. That relationship came into harsh focus recently following an independent review of integrity in tennis. Among the findings, published last month, was the claim that lower levels of game were awash with a tsunami of corruption. Adam Lewis, a British lawyer, wrote the relationship between the International Tennis Federation and Sportradar was part of the problem, arguing that by providing betting companies with instant scores and other data from thousands of minor matches around the world, there were more opportunities to cheat. Tennis is responsible for more suspicious betting than any other sport, Lewis wrote. Executives with Sportradar have argued their company and others like it also offer monitoring services, allowing them to spot suspicious betting patterns that might suggest a potential fix. The British Treasury is pushing to reduce the maximum bet on fixed odds betting terminals from about $140 every 20 seconds to around $3. The powerful betting lobby has been pushing back, attempting to protect the higher limit. In 2016 these machines, dubbed the crack cocaine of gambling, generated $2.5 billion. Last year, England's Football Association announced it would end all sponsorship deals with betting companies following a scandal involving Premier League soccer player Joey Barton. The FA ended its deal with Ladbrokes Coral, the country's biggest betting company, a year early after being criticised for suspending Barton for breaching betting guidelines, while the FA simultaneously profited from Ladbrokes' largesse. Whatever the concerns, gambling's popularity remains undiminished here. It provided the backdrop to perhaps English soccer's biggest ever Cinderella story, Leicester City's unlikely triumph to win the Premier League title in 2016. The team started the season as a 5,000-to-1 outsider, before embarking on a swashbuckling and barely believable ride that ended with a longest odds payout in UK history. William Hill said the long-shot victory ended up costing the company about $3 million.